Hello, my name is William for 222 Productions, and the finals for American Ninja Warrior Season 12 are close upon us. And that only means one thing. It's time, once again, for me to give some predictions for what I think is going to happen during the finals. Now, the finals are being split up into two parts, with 2 episodes. I don't know how they're going to break it up between the 2 episodes, because what they're doing is there's going to be a total of 28 people, and of those 28 people, regardless if they're man or woman, only the top 8 will move on to a head-to-head single elimination tournament on the Power Tower. Yes, we're getting the Power Tower return, and we're getting 7 matches on the Power Tower. So the question is, how are they going to split it up? Because I don't think you can do just the Power Tower in one episode, because that's only 7 segments, and A&W is typically split up into 11 segments on an episode, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. My guess is what they're going to do is that they're going to do the 10 obstacle course split into between the 2 episodes, most of it in week 1, which will be this week, and the rest in week 2, and then the top 8 will take up the remainder of that episode. But I could be wrong. If it turns out we find out the top 8 before the second episode of the finale, I'll do another predictions episode. Try to guess what I think is going to happen. But before we go into my predictions for the finals, I want to quickly go over my predictions for the semifinals. So, all in all, I gotta say, I actually did pretty good. I correctly guessed 20 of the 28 people who would be moving on to the finals. Now, this is, I must say myself, extra impressive considering I didn't know how everyone was going to be split between 2 episodes, and one of the females who did move on was an alternate and thus not on the original list, that being Jerry DeRulio. She was originally not supposed to be in the semifinals, but now she was in the semifinals. So, I think I did pretty well, 20 out of 28. That's a pretty good score. Alright, so now let's take a look at all 28 people who will be moving on to the finals of this season, listed in alphabetical order. Adam Rail, Amir Malik, Austin Gray, Cameron Baumgartner, Krista Ganji, Dan Polizzi, David Wright, Donovan Matoyer, Drew Dreschel, who obviously they won't be showing, Flip Rodriguez, Jackson Twait, Jake Murray, Jamie Ron, Jerry DeRulio, Joshua Lewis, Jesse Lebrack, Jesse Graff, Jody Avila, Joe Morosky, John Alexis Jr., Lucas Reale, Michael Torres, Najee Richardson, RJ Roman, Sandy Zimmerman, Thomas Stillings, and Tyler Gillette. So, that is 28 people total. 24 of them male, 4 of them female. No more women's rule. It's a straight up top 8 moving on. Picking only 8 people from this list, it was so challenging. So one of the things that I did to help me out is I listed all the people who were shown, who had their run shown without being fast forwarded or skipped completely in both the qualifier and semifinal episodes. And that would be, there was 12 people total who I counted, that I believe that it was 12. Now, I didn't only pick from the 12 people, because I also had to take into account that there was, situations that may have caused some editing to be done in a certain way, such as with Drew Dreschel, it's possible, as much flack as I gave the semifinal 2, maybe Drew was on the sideline for some of those people and they had to fast forward him to edit him out. Who knows? I certainly don't. But, so a lot of that was taken into consideration. Just because they are fast forward doesn't mean that I automatically didn't pick them. But it certainly helps if they were shown in both episodes. So, here are the 8 people that I picked. I'm going to name them in alphabetical order. So, first up is Adam Rail, right on the top of the list. Adam, they showed both episodes. both his runs, and he's very strong. I think the qualifier, him not clearing, was a fluke. He certainly cleared the course in the semifinals. I think he's a very strong competitor. He made it to stage 3 last year. He made it very far in stage 3. He was officially the third best performance in stage 3, and all in all, I think he's going to get one of those top 8 spots, and he is definitely going to be someone to look out for because, well, he has a history of going fast in head-to-head competitions. Wolfpack Ninja Tour comes to mind. Number 2, I'm going to go with Amir Malik. I think the rookie is going to surprise people. I think the fact that they showed him in full both times was a good indicator for that he is going to do well, and he's going to make it to the top 8. So I think that's what they're doing with that. Pick number 3 that I'm going for is Daniel Gill. Daniel Gill is, obviously one of the best competitors on the show. Quite frankly, he makes things look so effortless, and he is a very skilled ninja. And obviously, he had made it to the final stage last season. I think he is a strong contender for the top 8. Then I went with Jake Murray. Again, another strong competitor. He is someone with a very strong rock climbing background who also has a tendency to go fast. As long as he doesn't make a mistake in the course, I think he could easily make it to the top 8. Then I'm going to go with Jody Avila. Now, this might be me overthinking the editing, but if they put him in the final spot for the semifinal 1, I like to think that it is because he is at least making the top 8. Maybe he even wins the whole thing. Who knows? He's not going to be my pick for winning the whole thing. But I think there is a good chance he's making the top 8. And the editing for this season of him being so favorable, more so than it has been any season that he's been in, as far as I can remember, I think is a sign of him doing well. And then you have Joe Morosky, who is my 6th pick. Joe, I mean, he's probably the one to beat. He's one of the ones to beat. He's obviously one of the top competitors. Won the National Ninja League this year. He is so incredibly strong as a competitor, and I think he's got a good shot. They featured him in the final run of both of his episodes. Him and Jody are the only two to get that honor for the editing, and I think that is a sign of things to come. I wouldn't be surprised if he at least makes it to the grand finale of the tournament. So he's taking at least 2nd place, I think. Then I'm going to go for Michael Torres for my 7th pick. Torres has looked really good this season. He had, I believe, the fastest time, either the first or second fastest time. Second. It was second fastest time in qualifier. He had one of the fastest times in semifinals. He cleared the course. Torres has just gotten better and better every season that he's competed on, it feels like, and I think we're in for some good things from Torres this season. I think he's going to the tournament. I think he's going to the top 8. And then my final pick is R.J. Roman. R.J. is someone to not be overlooked. He is so strong, fastest in his qualifier, 3rd fastest in his semifinal. He's cleared both times. He's made it to stage 3 last year. He has a huge tendency to clearing courses and stuff. 3rd place in the National Ninja League this year. I think he has what it takes to make it to the top 8 and possibly win it all. There's a reason I made him my dark horse pick during the semifinals, because I see a lot of good things, and I think people really might overlook him. Now, there's quite a few people here that it was really hard not to pick him. Austin Gray, first off, really hard not to pick him. He cleared both the qualifier and semifinal course. But, there's only 8 people I can pick. Cameron Baumgartner is another one. his profile piece of having, I think it was Ethan Swanson, it could be someone else, I don't remember, making sure to have him say that Cameron is going to be a big ninja star one day. It's like, that made me think, like, maybe he made it to the top 8, but I just, I ended up not going with him. Maybe I will live to regret that. It was so hard not picking Flip Rodriguez. It's just, sometimes he makes mistakes, man, and he made a pretty silly mistake in the qualifiers. I think it's just going to happen with Flip this time around. Jamie Rahn, I think his thumb's going to hurt him. I think it's going to come down to a time thing. I don't think he's going to get top 8. That's the only reason I'm not picking him, is his thumb. And it's a similar reason why I'm not picking Najee Richardson. It was so tough not picking Najee Richardson. I think he was probably, I would say, the hardest person to leave off this list, because Najee is very talented competitor, very talented ninja. But my concern is the time aspect, because I think we're going to get at least 8 finishers in finals, and so it's going to come to if he can clear fast enough. I know in his semifinal run, of the 6 people who cleared, he was the slowest, and the asthma really played a part in it. Now, maybe that was because he knew that he was probably good, and so he could take his time. But I feel like time is going to be a factor. I don't necessarily know Najee for being like a super fast ninja, at least not recently. As for the other people, there's a slew of names that I haven't included, including some people who were nice enough to do intros for me this season, like Thomas Stillings, Lucas Reale, and Donovan Matoyer, and I appreciate that. But it's just, I don't know. It's so hard. It's so hard to only pick 8, and I'm sorry, guys, for not picking you in my top 8. But unfortunately, just got to go with what I feel like. I don't think this list was completely safe. There's a couple of risks with Amir and Jody, and to a lesser degree RJ, I say. But it is a bit of a safer list. But there's a lot of all-stars, a lot of all-stars on this list still. As for who I think is going to win it all, I'm going to stick with my picks from the semifinals. I'm picking Jake Murray to win it all, and RJ Roman is still my dark horse pick. So I'm sticking with Jake. I think he's going to do extremely well, and he is primed to win the whole thing. And so that's everything. That's my entire predictions for the finals. Let me know what you think. What are your predictions for the final rounds? Let me know in the comments down below. And thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully the final round of American Ninja Warrior will be very enjoyable to watch, but we'll all find out together this week. But until then, later, guys.